Hey everyone, Dark Lotus here. I just wanted to go over a couple things that I recently discovered on Minecraft. So this is 6 things you may not know about Minecraft. Alright everybody, so the first thing I want to go over is sculk sensors in general. Just to explain quickly the first thing that you might not know about Minecraft. So I've been playing around with sculk sensors just to kind of see how they work, to see what I could come up with. And I found out kind of the basics of them. So I have a sculk sensor in front of me right here. And then I have a couple other this direction and that direction. So originally I thought sculk sensors would send signals to each other because they actually make noise. So like this one's making noise right now when it triggers. And I figured the noise this one makes would then trigger this one, that would then trigger this one, that would then trigger this one, this one, this one, this one. Well, that's not true. So if I stand back here, my noise only goes up 2 of them. The reason that is because I'm over 7 blocks away from this third one right here. So literally they're only picking up noise that you're making, not any noise that any other sculk sensor makes. Originally, like I said, I didn't know this. I thought that they were like bats with sonar, and whenever like one picked you up, the rest of them would all pick you up, and it would just send a chain. But no, it doesn't work that way, and I'm assuming most of you watching probably already know this, because I'm sure some other YouTubers talked about it, or you've played around with it yourself, but I didn't, so this is just me going over the basics to make sure everybody understands how it works. If I come to this sculk sensor right here, and I break out the rest of these guys, okay, this one is 7 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I trigger this, it actually doesn't trigger that because with it 1 over, it's making it 8 blocks. Or at least more than 7. Maybe it's like 7.5 or something. But now this one can't pick it up. But if I add a trapdoor back in, then it'll pick up the noise that that trapdoor makes and then send it down the chain to another trapdoor that sends it to this one, and so on and so forth. So you could repeat this infinitely and I guess send a signal if it was loaded. Now if I come over here, right now I'm 6 blocks high, and it sends a signal of more than 1 at 6 blocks. If I go 7, it only sends a signal of 1. So it's triggering it, but it's not actually triggering my redstone because there's 2 pieces of redstone down there. And if I go up 8, it doesn't read it at all. So vertically and horizontally, it doesn't pick up anything different. So back down to 6. Now I'm getting a 1-tick pulse. And yeah, it's lighting this up, but that's because there's a repeater here sending a full signal. The redstone output changes based on how many blocks you are above or how many blocks you are away from the sculk sensor, but I'm not going to go through all that stuff in this video. And so the last part about it, and the thing that I didn't know, is you could actually put water on top of these guys and make them completely quiet. And it's harder to know that they're there. Yeah, you get the visual sound effect happening in front of you to know, but you can do some interesting things with them. So if you follow me over here, I have this piston door, and I have some sculk sensors that are waterlogged down here, and they trigger, and you wouldn't really even know that they were there unless you obviously saw the visual sound effect. But other than that, they don't make a noise. All you do is hear the 90,000 pistons that are here. And I made this door as tall as possible. Way taller than you need. So if I want a big piston door, that's fine. I can have it. And it's here, okay? So that's one thing that you can do with them. And then another is a little bit more sinister. Like this house over here. But I'm going to need a little bit of help. So I'm going to have G Lotus get on. And he's going to help me out by checking out our new house. And I'm sure he'll love it. I'm sure it'll be a blast. Oh, hey, G Lotus.
Hey.
What's up?
Nothing.
So I need G Lotus for a minute. Hey, G Lotus, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you go walk inside that house over there? Okay, so we got G Lotus set up to go inside the house. It's a nice little house. I mean, it's nothing too special, but I just put it together really quickly. So, here, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go spectator mode, and I'm gonna go inside the house and kind of check things out. See, it's a pretty simple house. Pretty normal. Yep, got a bed and a couple chests. So, whenever you're ready, G-Los, go through the door and come inside. So, waterlogging skulk sensors makes it to where you can set them up to not make noise whenever you want to set up a trap. Yeah, thanks so much, G-Los, for trying out our house for us. Was it fun?
Yes.
Alright, everybody, for the second thing that you might not know about Minecraft, I have a piston set up here. There's a block, and we're going to watch it go around and round. So pretty basic. It just goes around the square. Pretty basic redstone as well. So over here I have a shulker, and we're gonna do the same thing and see what happens. I did not know that these things could get pushed around with pistons, just like a regular block. Did any of you know this? Maybe I'm the only one that didn't know, but I can't. Okay, I got out of there. So it got me thinking: if you can push them around this easily with a piston, what about a flying machine? So I started playing around with the flying machine, and it works surprisingly well. Well enough where I feel like it's pretty useful for moving these guys around. One, you can get them up on top of here with a minecart and rail, and use them and send them in the flying machine, or you can just push them as long as there's a platform underneath and it's a straight platform. I tried it with a block, that doesn't work. So just to show, that's pretty crazy, right? Like, I feel like that's pretty useful. Honestly, if I need to move these guys to the overworld, I feel like this is the way I would do it. Set them in a flying machine until you need to get them to the ground. Now, I did try, here I want to show everybody really quick, just because it's interesting that they work this way, but like if you put it on, let's say, the flying machine itself, and go like this, it immediately teleports away. Does not like that. But the other two ways, good to go. On to the next one. For the third thing you didn't know about Minecraft, I have a couple more shulkers here, and recently I was end busting with G-Lotus, and we realized something interesting with water and shulkers. And it's just easier to show you, so let's get into it. Oh god. Oh no. What shall I ever do? I'm floating. Oh, I'll just go into the water, and then, you know, I'm not floating anymore. I assume you get the idea. Yeah, water can negate you floating with the shulker's attacks. I had no clue it worked like this. Because, like, literally, I'm just standing in it at this point. I'm not crouching, nothing, and it's keeping me from floating. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, like, we're not going to have a big wall of water if we're end busting. And if you have an elytra, you probably don't need this little trick. But before you get your elytra, it's very useful, especially in the part of the end cities where there's like 15 of these guys all in a big area. It's super annoying. You just seem to be floating all the time and you can never get to them. So just use your bucket of water, you know. Did everybody know about this, or am I the only person who doesn't know? I feel like not everybody knows about this, because I've seen a lot of people end busting in my day of watching YouTube, and I've never seen anybody use a bucket of water before to stop themselves from floating. And let's move on to the next section. Alright, now for the fourth thing you didn't know about Minecraft. So behind me, I have 2 sugarcane farms, one with a flying machine. This one's pretty basic. It's just a normal flying machine. I'll show you how it runs really quickly. There you go. It all collects on the bottom. I have mud blocks on one side, sand on the other. There's been a debate for years that sand was always the better block between that and dirt. Now that we have mud, I don't really know. Mud seems like the correct choice. Probably gonna need somebody to test that to know for sure if there is a difference or if one block's better than the other. But if you didn't know, you can actually, if you're worried about being able to float sand, you can over powered rails or whatever rail you need to, and sand will float above it. There's nothing that really stops you from setting it up with either type of block. But what was really interesting whenever I was building these and just seeing what I could come up with for ideas for the video, basically I have an observer on top of a piston, and there's a block behind the observer and a line of redstone. You wouldn't think this would work, and I am still surprised that it works, but let me show you. Honestly, I'm not a master of redstone by any means. I don't understand why this works. I know of bud switches, I know of quasi-connectivity, but neither of them seem to work like this. And what I assume's happening is this observer is powering this block, and then for some reason this redstone is being powered. And maybe it has to do with quasi-connectivity, but normally blocks above redstone will not power them. So the fact that these are even lighting up, or the fact that this line is even lighting up, shouldn't happen. But for now, unless this is a glitch and it gets patched out at some point, you can make a tileable sugarcane farm or whatever farm you want to set up like this. You can do lots of farms this way. But you can set up a tileable sugarcane farm and have each section fire on its own, which is the way I would rather have my farm work. And it's pretty cheap. I mean, it's an observer, it's a piston, and a piece of redstone, and a couple blocks. If anybody is watching this video at some point and you're really, really good with redstone, if you could tell me why this works or what mechanic this is, I would greatly appreciate it. With that, let's move on to the next thing you didn't know about Minecraft. Alright, for the fifth thing you didn't know about Minecraft, this has everything to do with water and making water do cool things. Behind me are some fountains, and this is just the general concept of it, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one because I don't want to run really long with the video, but the way this works, water, glass pane, if I take something like a glass pane or chains, whatever skinny item, you can't use a block, but, I mean, you might be able to use a block, but you can't use a block. You need to use something that can be waterlogged. So, glass panes, perfect. They can be waterlogged. And then you just take your bucket of water and you put it into the top, and it does this really cool fountain effect. And it's really simple, but it looks really nice. And you can make a bunch of different variations of this. These are some of the ideas I had. Some of you that are really good at building, I'm sure you can do something way cooler than this. But my favorite one that I came up with is literally a fountain with lava in the middle with a strider on top. And I did it to where, like, these are all, there's nothing in here except for a glass pane at the bottom and a glass pane at the top, and that's just so that the lava doesn't get hit by the water in those spots. But yeah, I think that's a really cool effect. And then it's also going to give a light source in your fountain. And then 2, you can even put a beacon at the bottom. And so then you have lava with a strider, and look how cute he is, just sitting in there, all happy can be, sitting in water, with a beacon beam going through his head. You know, that's everybody's dream, is for that to be a thing. This is probably the coolest way to do it, and I'm probably gonna try to pull this off in my survivor world. I'm not really sure how to get the strider in there, but I'm sure there's a way. Probably with a minecart or something. But yeah, he'll sit in there. Just don't bump into him. If you move him at all, he'll definitely end up more in the water than the lava, and it will unalive him. But then you can do some other cool things with soul sand. You can make like a little fountain that's also an elevator. Lots of different options here. Hopefully somebody that's really cool at building or that's really creative with building will do something cool. But, yeah, this is the 5th thing you didn't know about Minecraft. On to the next. And for the 6th thing you didn't know about Minecraft. So behind me I have gravity blocks. And most of us know that at this point you can take a lantern and if you break a block that is holding up the sand in one hit and then place the lantern at the same time, you will be able to break the physics of Minecraft. So if I grab a chain really quick, I grab sand and I grab a lantern, place my chain, place my sand, break it, and place my lantern at the same time, boom, I just broke physics. Now if I break the lantern, the sand drops, or if I break the sand, the lantern breaks. So it's a pretty cool glitch that's been in the game for a while. But got me thinking, what are other things that you can do this with? And where can you put lanterns? So, while I was messing around, trying to come up with ideas for the video, I found out all the things the lantern can attach to, and it honestly shocked me. I didn't think there was this many different block types that you could attach lanterns to. But I'm just going to run through them quickly. Yeah, end rods, lightning rods, 1 candle. Can't put any more than 1, just 1. Then you have 2 light sources. Chains, campfire, also 2 light sources. You can do the dragon egg. Oddly enough, you can do the top of a grindstone, but only the top, not the bottom. An anvil, beacon, the bottom of a brewing stand. The only reason why I think this works is because the middle of the brewing stand is just like a chain or one of these rods. And that's why it connects, but it doesn't make any sense that you cannot connect it to the top. Then you have a lectern chests, but only the bottoms. Trapdoor, hopper, only the bottoms. You know, we can't not talk about skulk sensors in this video. Only the bottom. And this is the weirdest one, turtle eggs. The fact that you can attach these to turtle eggs, they don't even line up with them in the center when you have just 1. And when you have 4, I mean, it's kind of centered, but still, it doesn't make any sense. But this is Minecraft. And then you got end frames, which I don't know why you would ever do that, just the bottom, and then TNT, which this is my favorite part because it's like, oh, TNT, what happens if you light it? Well, let's find out. It just breaks it. Oh, I'm gonna blow up everything. Oh, okay, I got lucky. Whew. And then right here, we just have obviously fence posts and glass, which are pretty normal things to, well, maybe not the glass, but the fence post to attach lanterns to. But for the first section of number 6 of what you didn't know about Minecraft, that's done. Let's go look at the rest. Oh, sorry, that's my face. So, basically, I have every item in the game that you can place gravity blocks on. This is everything that a sand block can sit on without falling. So, I mean, we knew about the door, but, I mean, still, it's kind of weird, right? I mean, out of all the things that it can sit on, it's also a door. But we have the dragon egg. This is just a pressure plate. It's just sitting here. Then you have candles, signs, flags. You have both types of lantern. You have turtle eggs. You have all types of crystals, dripstone, all the torches, all player heads. For some reason, you can cut through sand forever, but it won't actually cut it. A bed, a daylight sensor, all the tracks, trapdoor, open or closed. Wouldn't this be cool if you could make glass this way? You could just put sand over top of your campfire and make glass. Fence gate, the twisting vines and the weeping vines, carpet, and then this one, it's very small to see, but it's string. And that's actually how I have all of this up. And it's actually almost, in certain situations, impossible to see the string. So it's actually kind of cool. So if you want to play with your friends or trick them or whatever, you could actually do this and be like, yeah, I found a way to glitch sand and make it to where it floats. But really, it's sitting on top of string. And then you got brewing stand, you got skulk sensors, you got redstone with tripwire hook, buttons, all the redstone stuff, cobwebs. Don't ask me. I don't know. Like, if you make them fall, like, let me put this here. It'll fall through it slowly. Do, 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 do. And boom. Then it turns into an entity all of a sudden. But you can set it above it, and it'll sit there. Glass panes, not full blocks. It'll just sit there. It'll sit on all the sapling types. It'll sit on all the flower types. It'll sit on all the coral, on mushrooms. You can put the spore blossom on it if you really want to. Sweet berries. I mean, it just keeps going. This one's actually kind of interesting. I wouldn't have thought that this works, but you can actually put it on frog spawn. If I put frog spawn on water and then I do this, it'll just sit there. And now, the reason it wasn't already set up beforehand is because the frogs keep spawning and then the block will fall. But yeah, I mean, you can set it up on top of your frog spawn. Don't ask me why that would be helpful, but it's there. You can put it on a big drip leaf, a small drip leaf. You can put it on glowberries, chest, cake, fence posts, iron bars, half slabs, and of course ladders. You can do that with all of them. I would have had no clue that all these things can hold up sand unless I actually sat here and painstakingly tried every block type to figure out what it could sit on and what it couldn't. So with that, these are some of the interesting things that I found. Did you know? I have string right now just sitting here. Let's break it. Isn't that weird? Let me get a shovel. Looking in the wrong section. Path block. Sand. Okay, it'll fall and it'll just break, right? So that it doesn't work. Soul sand. It can actually sit on soul sand though. But if you drop it on it, it turns into a entity. But you can set it on it. If I set it on here, it actually turns it back into dirt. These mechanics aren't the same. They even though the blocks, this isn't a full block, and you can't drop it on it without turning it into an entity. But I can do that there. This works. But I can't do it there. So if I break this, boop, turns into an entity. If I set it on it, it turns back into dirt. Same thing with honey, but I can set it on top of honey. This is the odd one, though. This is a snow layer, okay? Let's get down here. The snow layer is actually I believe a full block. Like, is it a full block? But let me break this. Boop, turns into an entity. I can set this on here. I can set this on here. If I set it on any of these, they turn back into normal. And then same thing happens if I do that. But snow blocks are the only block types that if you put sand on it, no matter what, it turns into an entity. Super weird, right? You can't go inside of it though. So why can't you put sand on it? Why is this a thing? Does anybody know why? I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. I could put it on honey, but not on snow? Come on now. What? Why? Alright, but let's do this. Let's do this. Powdered snow. What about powdered snow? Can I put it on top of there? Yep. What? I thought this was so interesting that this mechanic works this way. I can walk inside powdered snow. It's not even a block. It's like water basically, but I can set sand on top of that, but not on here. But I can walk on this. What? Why is this a thing? Are my feet like in it some? They are. Why is the very top of it not a block? But it is a block. Mojang, what are we doing here though? That's my question. Like, all right, if I stand here, Look, I'm not getting cold at all. Now I'm cold. Oh, God. Okay. I'm not getting cold at all. But if I stand here, and my feet are touching this block, I start to get cold. But I can still jump. I'm cold, everybody. Brr. I don't know. It was a thing I didn't know that you couldn't do. Like, I guess this is one way to try to find powdered snow, is you just bring gravity blocks with you, and you just try to set it on top of stuff. And that's a way to find out the difference between the two, and then know that you have powdered snow here. Because again, the textures look different, but when they're sitting next to each other and you're just covered in snow, like, the tops look very similar. And they're really hard to tell the difference. I don't know. Was I the only one that didn't know this? I feel like this one might be one that everybody knew, but not me. So we looked at all the items that can hold up gravity blocks. Now what about all the items that can be waterlogged? This is everything in the game that you can waterlog. And if I missed something, feel free to comment down below. It's possible that I did, but I don't think I did. Yeah, so the new mangrove trees. Oh, that scared the crap out of me, everybody. Oh my god, my heart just jumped. Shut up. Shut up. Oh my gosh. I thought the warden was coming for me. Oh my gosh. Let's delete all that. Shut up. Shut up. You scared the crap out of me. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to do something. Let's turn this back on peaceful. Hostile wait. What controls the sound for these guys? Alright. Is it blocks? Yep, they're under blocks. If you want to know how to turn those off, you have to turn off blocks. Jeez, that scared the crap out of me. So, yeah, this is all the stuff you can waterlog. Well, the one thing I found the most interesting about it is that you can waterlog a block with water inside. I'm just kidding. This isn't really waterlogged, I guess, per se. I guess it kind of is. The new mangrove propagule. Propagule? Wow, that's not fun to say. It can be waterlogged, but not any of the other types. I mean, it kind of makes sense because these things grow out of, like, water. But, see, like every other sapling, doesn't work. But the propagule does. So, I guess if you want to be able to waterlog a type of sapling, now you can. You can even waterlog an end crystal. I guess kind of. Is it gonna blow up? Oh, I think you just gotta punch it. Maybe. But, it's an option. You can do it. I don't know why you would, but I figured I'd throw that in there. It's just like a little bonus. You can do that. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know about some of these things. This guy's annoying though. Like, I wish if it was waterlogged you couldn't hear it, but you can. So we went over all the items that can be waterlogged. We went over all the items that can hold up gravity blocks. And that kind of wraps up the sixth thing you didn't know about Minecraft. And before we wrap up this video, we're going to take down this big tower of gravity items. I'm interested to see how it all comes down. Hopefully it'll look cool. Not really sure. Haven't tested it at all. It may fail. May not work at all. Let's give it a shot. Hopefully it works. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I failed. It's okay, though. I'll knock it down by hand. So I'm Dark Lotus, and this was 6 things that you didn't know about Minecraft. I appreciate everybody for watching. Hopefully you watched to the end. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If there's anything that I missed in any of the stuff that I talked about, feel free to comment down below, and I'll catch everybody next time. See ya.